All right, good evening, everyone. It's been a while since I've done a video, and I wanted to give a little bit of an update. Yes, I am driving, but this is going to be a very long drive as opposed to just a standard drive here. I'm going to be driving to Salem, Oregon. So I'm going to be scouting the Ironman 70.3 Oregon course tomorrow as well as Sunday morning. And hopefully we'll be back in the Seattle area by Sunday evening in time, maybe for the fireworks. But it is a 3.5 hour drive, apparently. We're gonna go here and see how quickly this goes. But for the most part, I think this is gonna be very uneventful. We're gonna go here and get to the I-405 corridor, and then we'll get to the highway, and then we're going to be going along here. A couple of thoughts. So far my training has gone fairly well, I would say. There's been a few a few hiccups here and there, but the hiccups are more is because when I go really hard, I tend to go really hard, and I mean this to the point of just pure exhaustion. But that's just the way how I train to go hard, because I know I want to improve. But I know that there's going to be times where you do have to step off the brakes just a little bit. And aside from that, for the most part, I mean, the training has gone to plan, maybe a little bit under in terms of the TSS. My plan was to go to 140, but probably not going to hit 140 or CTL, excuse me. But again, that's nothing I am terribly concerned about here. I'm right at around 132, and by the end of this weekend, when I do all the Recon, I'll probably be at around 137, 138. So that stated, we will get on our way here and get going sooner or not. I am just paying attention to some of the traffic here, and I am going to ignore my Waze for a little bit and tell them, hey, I know a little bit faster of a route compared to what Waze thinks. That being stated, so yeah, with training, I've got one more full week of really hard training. I tend to not need a very large or a very long taper, so 2 weeks for the taper, and prior to that, the is going to be I'm going through my first of 2 intensive weeks. This week I went through some high intensity or threshold training, which I haven't done in a while, and so this is just going up to the lactate threshold, which is at my FTP. And then from there I also did a pseudo track session, although it's not the truest of track sessions. Normally my track sessions are 1/4 mile all out wind sprints, but these were just as difficult. I did 4 sets of 1 mile at lactate threshold. Oops, let me get to the camera here. That's what happens when you're an aggressive driver and you turn right, or left, excuse me. But from there, it's yeah, very high intensity interval training. 4 by 1 mile intervals. Yeah, it's gonna put the sting in the hurt on me. Let me go through here, and yeah, so that's so far this week. And then swimming, I haven't done too much intensity work, although I have had a couple of 200 what I call LSU 200s, but for the most part it's been fairly straightforward, and no major issues to report of in terms of no injuries. Maybe the tiny niggle here and there, but those niggles are not really true like things that could blow up on me. For the most part, it's been fairly stable. I could probably use a little bit more strength work, but I am doing a lot more coordinated pseudo strength sessions. So I have incorporated some hill training throughout, and yeah, so the bike has been pretty solid, although my bike computer says that my VO2 max has dropped a little bit. I know from even today, like today I did about a 38 or 39 mile ride, and I felt very strong. This was just pure fat burning, so I was just in a very low zone 2, if not high zone 1 in terms of heart rate, and it was a very nice day outside. And we went through the heat wave where it was 101, 103. Actually, I think the high in SeaTac was 106 for consecutive days. It was just awful, and you couldn't really do much. I did all my stuff in the morning, fortunately, and fortunately the pools were not as crowded as I thought that they would be, given all the heat. So I lucked out on that part in terms of getting an open lane for the pools. Things are opening up, so looking forward to having a little bit more capacity. It's still only 5 days a week at the local Y pool that I train at. I hope that it becomes 7 days a week, which is what happened prior to COVID. But again, just keeping it sane and just doing what I can with whatever resources are there. Looking back through the journey, I will say that I'm very glad that last week, part of the heat wave was a rest week. It was getting hot, and I'm not very good at training in very, very hot weather. Although I had to go and practice that a little bit more, whether it's to my liking or not. And aside from that, yeah, so this next weekend, 2 days, is going to be very much it's going to be hard, to say the very least. But this is where I've got to sharpen up. I've got to make sure that I've got the tempo and the quick turnover of the legs, especially when going fast. That was something that I didn't exactly do in my 4x1 miles, and I think I kind of learned that as soon as I realized, oh, wait a minute, I went from 640 pace to 625 pace, just by simply increasing the turnover without increasing the overall level of effort. So something that there are some little lessons learned, but that can make those little details can make a massive difference in a race. So nutrition wise, that is still something I'm going to try to figure out. Part of the scouting of this course is to figure out where those hills are. I think there's one hill which is about 150 feet of climbing, I want to say 200 feet of climbing. So there is one modest hill that I want to go and scout. So I'll also be video recording on what that hill looks like, not only just for me, but also for others to go and view. Aside from that, so this weekend, what I'll be doing tomorrow morning, it's going to be an early wake-up call, so might not even get 7 hours of sleep if I'm lucky. I want to see if I can beat the ETA of checking in before midnight here. It's going to take some time, especially because traffic in Seattle is ridiculously slow. And then when I get out to the countryside, then boom, I'm going to hit it. Of course, safely. Now, these people in the left lane don't know how to drive on a left lane. Why is it that the right lane is always faster than the left lane? I just don't get it. Anyways, but again, this weekend, so I'll be doing the half marathon run. So I'm going to run the run course. I'm going to keep it at a zone 2. I was originally thinking of going at race pace, but I don't really need to do that at this point throughout my training. That'll be held for the first week of the 2 week of taper, where I'll do race pace, but only for 10 to 11 miles maximum, and shut it off from there. And then apart from that, then I'll do a 1 hour bike ride to kind of go around some of the tricky areas, at least in the urban center, right in the area of, right in the downtown Salem area. There is a little bit of trickiness as it comes to that bike. So I'm gonna ride that for about an hour, maybe an hour and 15 minutes. We'll see how it goes, and then shut it off for the day, and then process more videos like this one. And then Sunday will be the entirety of the bike course. I'll be driving it in the afternoon, which will be tomorrow afternoon, and I'll probably go around 21 miles an hour. We'll see. I got to see how open or closed these roads are. Not sure if they're too rural or not. And after the bike, then I will do a 7-mile brick run at race pace. That's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm getting very close to dialing down the nutrition. I'm finding out that Cis Energy gels will work well, and then I also have GU 100 calorie gels. So I alternate between one every half hour. I'm debating whether or not I want to include some extra protein during the ride. I've been able to do without it, but I kind of feel that I do need a little bit of protein such that I'm not just only running on a sugar high, which can pretty much kill a long-term race strategy. So that's still something that I'm going to consider, whether I want to have some sort of protein intake on there. I'm finding carbohydrates is easier to intake than any protein, but again, that's kind of part of the nutrition that I have. And then going into the run, I know I need to get a Cis Energy gel or an isotonic gel about 10 to 15 minutes as soon as I start into the run, and I need to practice that. So weather in Salem is going to be pretty hot from what I understand, so that'll be more of a factor on Sunday than Saturday, because I'll be doing the morning run on Saturday. Hopefully done with the morning run before 9:30, 10 a.m. before it starts getting really hot. But again, if it does get a little bit hot, I need to practice in it, so not too concerned there. Now, when it comes to what'll happen is that Sunday afternoon, so I'll be driving down or back to Seattle Sunday afternoon, if not in the early evening time frame. I don't think it'll be July 4th, so I'm not expecting that much traffic, so I might just make the beeline and head straight over back to Seattle. I will fill up gas on the 3rd of July, so that'll be tomorrow, which will be Saturday, because I know that Costco's gasolines are closed on July 4th, but I do know that there is a Costco right next to the hotel, so that's great. So aside from that, I'll report on a little bit more in terms of other thoughts that I have in terms of preparing, excuse me, can't speak today, preparing for the race that's going to be coming up. And aside from that, we'll just get going here. Now, I do not know why Waze is saying to go and take the HOV. I'm going to go I-5 because it's 8:30 p.m. and I think that all the traffic should be resolved by now. So I'm going to go I-5 here, although we'll see. I don't know what Waze will tell. So aside from that, so I'm going to focus in on driving here. I have 3 hours to go in this long ass drive. So with that, I'll see you in Salem, and I will talk later. All right, I've made it to Salem, Oregon. I took a little bit of time here. I decided that I was gonna swap my bike Recon or bike riding and my half marathon run, or the half marathon training run, that is. So I've elected to go and do the bike first on a Saturday, which is normally not what I do, but I figured I have the whole entire day on Saturday, so why not do that? So I'm going to go to the bike drop-off / the park, which I think is where we will have T1 and T2. So I'm gonna, of course, scout that park out first, and as soon as I can really make a left turn here. But overall, slept all right. I mean, I slept okay. I wouldn't call it the best sleep, but breakfast is the breakfast of champions, which is French toast slices, eggs, and let me correct that there. Sorry about that. Eggs, some sausage, and French toast. So definitely got a healthy load of calories in me, that's for sure. So that'll help. And the overall goal for today is we're gonna actually ride the course first. I have it loaded onto my GPS, to my Garmin unit. So hopefully that will help me in terms of the directions and which roads I need to turn left and right on. Although I've got it in my mind in terms of the general course layout, so that'll help as well. Overall, yeah, so it's going to be a very long afternoon, and afterwards I'm going to run a little bit on the run course. But of course that's going to be kind of contingent on the weather, but I'm going to train in the hot weather. So I've got all my hot weather gear with me, which is extra sunscreen. I've got some cold bottles of water that are going to remain in the fridge pack that I brought with me, which I think is a really smart choice. And today's high, right now it says 80 degrees Fahrenheit. It's going to be about 93, 94. I don't know if race day is going to be this hot, but I'm going to train as though it will be, because we've had a couple of heat waves recently here in the Northwest, or the Pacific Northwest, and so I want to be ready for that and know what it feels like to race hard in the heat. Making sure that I've got the electrolytes in me, which is going to be critical, and we're going to simulate that today. And I will do a quick kind of a time-lapse recording, so I'll be also driving it as well as, of course, riding it. I'm gonna ride it first before driving it. Usually it's the other way around, but because of the time that I have and I know that it's going to be super hot, I might as well just go ahead and ride it. And I've got the extra flat kits just in case, so I feel pretty ready for this bike ride. But I'll see you out in the course. I'll take a few pictures along, and of course I'm gonna do a video recording of the bike course through a time-lapse video. With that stated, then I will go and catch up with everyone later here once I get to the venue, and I'll do a little bit of a recording there. All right, talk to you in a bit. So I'm at the race venue now. So here it is. We got the park. Got a couple triathletes. Bike setup, I'm gonna put in the fluids. It's gonna be a warm one today, at least mid-upper 90s. Got the nice bridge there. Unfortunately, the run does not go across the bridge, so I'm gonna have to do this the hard way. And it's gonna be a hot ride and a run, but we're gonna do it anyways because it may be hot on race day, so prepare like it's going to be race day. I'm not gonna be going very hard in terms of bike and run overall effort, so I might just stick to Z2 instead of Z3 or Z4, and we will go scouting. And with that, I'll catch up to you later. So I just finished my brick run after the bike, and I must say, holy cow, a summary, this bike course is fast AF. Especially the middle half of it, miles like 18 to 38 or 40, maybe 40. Yeah, they are fast. It is just flat, there's no hills. The pavement's not the smoothest, but it's definitely a fast course out there, and there's going to be some ridiculously fast splits. We might even see some sub 2 hours, I think, going in here. Yeah, you heard me right. I think there might be some very close to sub 2 hours, maybe 201, 203. You could easily go 27, 28 miles an hour on this average if you've got the power. So definitely going to be a fast course out there. I'm thinking it's going to be hot for bike race day. There is no cover in the flat sections. The first part of it is a little bit hilly. I wouldn't say super hilly, but it can be sneaky out there. You could easily lose track of yourself in terms of maintaining the power output. It's going to be easy to, and I'm still trying to cool off here. You could still go and lose yourself to and put too much power in the beginning. So but this is the race venue. This is what it looks like in the finish line. We got a parking here. So where I parked right now, where it comes out to the railroad tracks, I think that's going to be the bike out and in. We will not cross the bridge, unfortunately. I saw the route course, so it's not going to be as scenic as I was hoping for. But aside from that, yeah, so I'm gonna get into the car here and get going and figure out where my keys are at. No, I think I know where they're at. But yeah, this is going to be a flat and fast course for the bike. I'm going to scout the run tomorrow, so I'll do another update with you tomorrow morning. But for right now, I need some food because, yeah, it was hot out there on the run today. So I will check back with you guys in a bit. Good morning, folks. I'm here at the Ironman Oregon 70.3 Salem swim site, and to be very honest with you, I have no idea how the swim start is gonna go. So here I am at the map. I'm thinking I'm right around the place where they're gonna put us in the swim here. So I parked right along here, and I'll show a couple of photos, and I'll get there and show a few photos of what the parking lot area is like. There's a lot of parking, a ton of parking around here, but again, I really have no idea how the parking situation. I've heard a few buses might be coming through from the start finish line. Again, I am not sure how they're going to do this. And you are here, so this is kind of what it looks like around. As you can see, quite a bit. Now, where I'm walking to is where I think they're going to build, or they better build, some sort of a platform or some sort of structure to be able to get to the river. But as you can see, the river is kind of a good flowing one. I mean, this is a good fast flowing river. So even this was a little bit greater than 1.2 miles. I mean, this current is gonna get you there in a hurry. And I mean, this is flowing. So this is gonna be a fast swim course, but again, how on earth are they going to be able to get to this river, which is the Willamette River, by the way. No, river. Willamette River. That's the height stick for when it gets really heavy in terms of the rain. Hopefully there isn't flooding. But again, this is the site where I think they're going to have us enter the water. I better hope that there's going to be some sort of pavement, because getting into the water from there does not look very good. And I'll show it a little bit closer this time around. As you can see, a lot of rocks here. So I hope that they're going to have at least some sort of structure rather than trying to scamper 2,000 athletes to go through these rocks. There are some rocks over there towards the shore, which I was trying to scamper over a little bit, so that was not fun. So I hope that there's some sort of a structure to be able to get to this swim course. But again, I could be off, but what I'm gonna do is I'm also gonna film the park here, which by the way is a very nice park. I ran it yesterday, and the trails are a little bit undulating, which I think it's not the best suited, at least for me personally, but it just shows what good pacing will do. So aside from that, I will go and take pictures of other places throughout the park here and be able to give a little bit of recon, and I'll catch you in a little bit.
Salem, Oregon in a recap. And overall, I would say the Recon trip was overall successful. There were a few times I got lost in the run there. You'll see on the Strava segment that I have. I mean, I was I was kind of all over the place, really towards the middle part. I didn't run the entire run course because there is a part of it which is currently closed, which is towards the railroad tracks. There is a railroad crossing, and unfortunately there's quite a few homeless people, so I'm hoping that they get taken care of in some way, at least to be able to help those folks. But other than that, the Recon course was successful yesterday, which is the 3rd of July, so today's the 4th of July, so happy Independence Day. And again, overall, I did the run this morning. I ran 14 miles, kind of did a couple of back and forths with some of the areas where I wasn't very comfortable with. I'm not the biggest fan when it comes to gravel trail runs. There are some places where it is a little bit tricky, and I did see a deer as well, which was kind of cool. Apparently there are also signs saying that there are bobcats around, or some sort of predatory animal, so hopefully that won't be the case on race day. Aside from that, so I just left Salem, Oregon, so it's going to be, my GPS is telling me 3.5 hours of driving, which is going to be a long drive. But aside from that, had a lot of fun, and hopefully there will be some of the restaurants that will be open. I think because of the holiday weekend, some of the restaurants were closed, so that will be something that hopefully that'll be a little bit better next time. And overall, now we're back on the highway, back on I-5, and got to drive like a madman, I guess, to make sure that I am able to get home in a timely manner. I've got lots of laundry to do, lots of clothes to wash. But aside from that, the run pace, at least in today's long run, was a little bit slower, mainly because I was more focused on the Recon as opposed to going at a certain pace. I tried to keep the heart rate relatively low because I knew it was going to be hot, and the fluid intake was definitely higher. I did stop my car twice, and that was more or less is because I really wanted to make sure I stayed cool. I had to wring my shirt 2 times, which was unfortunate, because I sweat a lot when it comes to hotter runs, so that was not very comfortable. But I mean, that's just how my body is. My body loves to sweat. Hopefully that won't happen as much on race day, but I mean, I'm expecting the hot temperatures. I started the run at about 9 in the morning and ended at just a little after 11, given I stopped my watch a couple times. Ugh. Say today is a long day. Aside from that, yesterday's bike was also really good. I also drove the bike course, so as part of this video, hopefully you will enjoy the kind of the fast forward bike course. I'll put time marks to where I'm at least on the video for this video, as to when the bike course is. And aside from that, then that's all I have for this video. And if you go and like this content in any fashion, then please go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And if you really like this content and you want to keep following me, just go ahead and click on the subscribe button and hit the bell notification for any of the latest videos that I do post. Again, it has been a little bit of time since I've posted some videos, so there is a backlog of videos that I'm going through right now, so please bear with me and have some patience as I get these videos out. Next videos will probably be the actual Ironman Oregon 70.3 experience, so hopefully look forward to that in a couple of weeks. But between then, probably some workout training videos to kind of describe how things are going, as well as some of the latest and greatest topics. So with that, if you haven't already, hit the like, click the subscribe, and hit the bell. So until then, I'll see you in the next one.